Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a big fan of your songs.
Yeah, that's I love when men tell me that. Cause
What do you mean?
Well, like of hearing straight men, like I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be me.
I remember like seeing a comment under Pretty Girl Era where this guy was like, "I'm like a grown like straight man, and like when I'm driving down, I'm listening to Pretty Girl Era." He's like, "Windows up." I'm like, "No, let the windows down. Like it's okay. Like you're allowed to like fun music.
Hey,
fun is not only for like." Women and like queer people, like everyone's allowed to like fun music.
Hey, you don't gotta tell me. I like fun music all the time.
I love that.
You know, mainly old country music, but it's fun to me.
Yeah.
No, but I think I told you this the last time we talked. I remember when I was out somewhere in my car and I had the radio on and Hotter Now came on, and it did hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, this is really great songwriting, and I think you're really talented. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So you said this project is about where you currently are in your life.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I feel like I'm just I'm in a good, healthy space. And, you know, things are all about me. And
what do you mean?
We're not crying at all. Like there's no breakup or anything that's like breaking my heart right now.
You're feeling all right?
I'm feeling really good. And so I wanted the music to reflect kind of where it was at.
Mm-hmm. I was reading about you that when you were growing up, pretty early on, you had dreams of being a pop star, right?
Yes.
When you were dreaming of being a pop star when you were a kid, what was the vision in your mind of it? What were you dreaming?
It was me on stages performing my music and everybody else like screaming it back to me winning awards, just me being able to like be a full-time musician and artist. And, you know, I'm grateful. Like sometimes you forget that like, hey, I'm kind of living that life right now.
How old were you when that first came to mind, you think?
I think it was like grade 5 where we had to interview each other in class, like students. Yeah. And I remember I saw the book like not too long ago, and it said like she's gonna be a pop star, and like that was what the person interviewing me, like the other student, literally wrote about me, because like that's like literally all I would tell people. It didn't matter how old I was. I'd let everybody know like I'm gonna be a singer. When
I was in grade 3, we had to draw a picture of what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I got to do that.
Wait, and you did? Was it this?
No, I wanted to be the Pope.
Oh.
That's a true story. I drew a picture of the Pope.
I mean, you give people wisdom.
Oh, there you go.
It's different.
There you go.
You talk to people.
I don't have. That is a true story. I did.
I love that.
I got a text from my friend the other day when the Pope, I got a text from my friend the other day that said, "Now's your chance."
Now's your chance. They are auditioning right now. They are auditioning.
How did your family, how did your folks feel about these dreams of wanting to be a pop star?
It's funny. I remember I was thinking back the other day, like my mom took me to like auditions. There'd be like radio stations being like, be the next like Disney kid or be this. So my mom actually did take me to a couple auditions growing up. And I feel like my dad, like he just felt like, he's an immigrant. Like you want your child to do something like more safe, like be like a teacher. Nothing wrong with teachers, but they be a nurse, like something that they know that you'll guarantee bringing in some money and you'll be okay.
Predictability.
So predictability. So I think it was a little scary for them in the beginning, but I remember the day my dad heard my first song on the radio and he's like, whoa, like this is like crazy. So turn around to like now, today I actually surprised him at his school. My dad's a teacher and I surprised him at his school and all the students, and it's just like so cool. Like he was so proud.
What do you mean you surprised him?
Not me just throwing that in out of nowhere. Yeah, no. Sometimes when I go on live on social media, like his students will be in my live, being like, please come by, this and that. Like one time my dad fell and I found out through the kids on live, which I thought was kind of funny. But so today, I ended up being not too far from the school. And I kind of like last minute, I was like, all right, like I'm in town. My dad didn't even know I was in town. And I was like, all right, let me go see my dad.
How did he react?
I just popped up. Like they were all really excited, honestly. I think the principal could have been more excited than him. And then the kids, my wrist hurts from all the autographs I had to sign. I was signing people's like sneakers and hats. And I'm like, I hope your parents don't get mad. Because this is elementary school. So I'm like, I hope your parents don't get mad.
That's beautiful, man.
But it was like nice. And it was nice for my dad to see that. see like my dreams coming true and like that I didn't have to do the quote unquote safe thing.
Yeah.
To make it happen and to be okay.
It's not an easy road though. I mean, I've heard you talk a little bit about when you were a kid and you wanted to be a pop star. You had some awareness sort of dawned on you that as a Black woman, there weren't a lot of pop stars to look up to. Am I right about that?
There weren't. Like, I think a lot of the Black women that have done pop in the past came in maybe doing R&B or rap. Like, they did something else, and then they became so popular that they transitioned into pop. Yeah. But I feel like Black women, Black people in general, have just never usually been allowed to come in straight the gate and be like, hey, I make pop music.
What effect did that have on you think, back then?
I guess I didn't really realize it in the moment, you know, like I just was like, I'll be that person. But now as I'm actually making music and it's coming out, like, and I'm reading my comments and I'm seeing kids being like, oh my gosh, like someone who looks like me, someone who this, someone like that, like I think that those are the moments you realize that like, whoa, like there actually weren't that many people that were doing it.
That's interesting because it wouldn't be an uncommon conversation for me to have with people who would say something like, you know, I didn't see someone who looked like me in the space of modeling, or I didn't see someone who looked like me in the space of acting, or I didn't see someone who looked like me in the space of pop music, who would say it made me work harder, or it made me work smarter, or it made me take different chances or different risks, you know? I
just knew that like I loved this music. So honestly, I was just doing it for myself. But I think at one point I realized like it wasn't just about me anymore. It was like I actually have to try to break down these doors so that, I don't know, other people that are also doing it right now and other people that to come after me, like they feel like they're allowed to be there.
Yeah. When did you start writing?
I feel like I've always written. Like I can remember songs that I wrote in grade 6.
Yeah, tell me. What are they? I'd like to hear one.
Oh, there was this song. What was it called? Wait. No, I'm on the song right now, but
come on.
From above the sky, I was walking by just to say hello, but your door was closed. Baby, tell me what is this? I called you yesterday up till 1 o'clock. Still no answer. Baby, why you playing me? You know it's irritating me.
Get out of here. That's really good.
Thank you. That was at 11 years old. I don't know why I remember that song.
Did you ever record it?
No.
Can I get publishing on that?
I got you. Yeah. I got you. I wrote it with my sister and my cousin. I remember being like, oh my gosh, you just wrote the biggest new hit. You wrote the biggest new hit.
It's a great song. When did someone tell you that you were great at songwriting in a way that made you feel like, okay, maybe I can do this?
So I feel like when I started singing locally and like actually doing shows and stuff around town, I remember one day I got a DM from this producer, a songwriter. I got a DM from the songwriter and he was like, hey, are you free on Monday? Do you want to come co-write like a song? And I was like, what is that? Like I had never co-written. Every song I had written was just me by myself at 2 a.m. At home. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, let's do it. And it's so funny because like that very first song I ever co-wrote ended up being a Jennifer Hudson cut. So I guess getting just the invitation to the door, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe like it's a little more, like maybe I'm kind of good at writing.
If the music career as a performer isn't ramping up quickly as maybe you wanted to, and you're still doing kind of local shows and is maybe not moving as fast as maybe you'd wanted to, which I believe it wasn't at the time.
Yeah.
Like, was there a temptation to, well, maybe I'll just write for other people?
Not really. Honestly, I know like that's like the route that a lot of people would go. And there's no like, the hard thing about this industry is like there's no right or wrong way to do this. I still always was like, no, I want to like write my own songs and tell my story. Cause I feel like I am creating these like fun pop songs, but I'm also giving, like, I feel like the stories I'm telling are from my point of view. And some of them are stories that I don't feel like a million people have said it like me. So I just always wanted to like tell my own story.
Can we go to the one of the first big hits?
I don't care. I'm in my pretty girl era. I stare when I see myself in the mirror. Oh, 'tis the season, it's that party time of the year. I don't care. I'm in my pretty girl era.
I've never seen. I love that you're grooving out to the song? I thought you might be a little tired of it now because it became such a big hit.
I think you have days where some days you're like, oh, and then other days you're like, wait, this song makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And I honestly wrote that song about how I was feeling literally in that moment. So it's nice to see that other people are like, wait, like this, like they can relate to it, and they've made like kind of a theme to their life to some of my music.
I'm glad you said that. The question I had written down was when you wrote Pretty Girl Era, I should say that's Pretty Girl Era from Luke Calla. You can find it on a new EP, No Tears on This Ride. When you wrote Pretty Girl Era, were you already in yours or were you writing it to try and get there?
No, I was there. I was working out. Like this was kind of like I was drinking my water. I was minding my business. And then I went to the gym and I remember I was me working with like this writer for the first time. And I was like, I've been feeling so good about myself lately. Like I've been putting in so much work and this and that. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm just like in my Pretty Girl Era. And she's like, let's write that song. And like I honestly was kind of joking. Like I wasn't being like that serious.
Yeah.
But she said, let's write it. And we wrote it. And
It was a long session?
it wasn't too long of a session. We wrote a couple different hooks in that session. And then like the one that like maybe the day or two later, if we're like, oh, one stands out, it's like worth finishing.
And was the hook that you wrote, I don't care.
It was literally,
I'm in my Pretty Girl
it was
Era.
literally
Just
that hook.
Cool.
And I remember I went to New York. So that was in LA. And then I went to New York with some friends one weekend, and I was like, I feel really pretty today. I was like, and then I asked like, hey, can I like tease this song, or I just wanted to use the sound and see. Like, I didn't know if it was gonna do anything. I just felt like it matched the way I looked on that day, and then I was shocked when it like blew up, and then people were like, wait, we want this song, you want this song. Them not knowing that there was only a hook written. There was nothing more than the chorus to that song.
That's what I was going to ask you. When you're a writer for others like Jennifer Hudson at that point, and you write a song like that, are there people did you get pressure to give that to someone who had already had established careers?
I did. I have been definitely pressured about like certain songs.
That one, did anyone say like, hey, give that to Rihanna or to give that to, you know what I mean?
I guess not really. I think because if they did, I probably just ignored it. But they probably just didn't because I just like posted it randomly on TikTok, and I feel like artists were kind of having like little moments. So I think people were just like excited about the tune that they didn't really say like that. But you see those comments sometimes. People be like, if you give it to this person, then like you'd be rich.
I meant like a label saying that to you. I meant like, you know what I mean?
Not that
like,
one actually. I remember when I said like, can I tease it? And then they came back and they're like, oh, we think this is a good one. Like, yeah, let's finish it. So I think they were excited about it.
What was the one they wanted you to give away? You didn't give it. Was there one of those on this record?
No.
Okay.
Actually, maybe Hotter Now at one point. But I said no.
Maybe Hotter Now. Who was it supposed to be?
I said no, though.
John Mayer.
No,
I'm joking. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Imagine.
Yeah. Kenny Chesney.
No, I literally was like, no. I literally told him no.
Good on you, man. I love that song. Here's a question. If you're not in your Pretty Girl era, what era are you in?
Currently right now?
No, in general. If someone's not in their Pretty Girl era, what era are they in? What does that mean?
Hopefully you're on your like transition era. You're waiting to get to your Pretty Girl era. You know, you're figuring things out. But I think everyone can honestly is in their Pretty Girl era at some point, you know, in their life, in the year. I think it's about like actually having to activate it. Like you have to believe it. It's okay if you fake it in the beginning, but then you have to like actually believe it and be like, nah, like this is my season. This is my time. The more you say it, it's literally like a mantra. It's a mantra.
What does it feel like when that song blows up? It went all over Canadian radio, but it went viral on TikTok, as you mentioned. Justin Timberlake, Eva Longoria, Serena Williams, all making TikToks using that song.
I don't know. It's like surreal because when you're seeing these people that like I grew up to, like listen to it, but then like I think like one of the moments where I realized like, oh my gosh, this song's really moving was backstage at the Billboard Awards. The American Women in Music Billboard Award. I remember like SZA, she had posted me a couple of times, but then she like from across the room yelled and she was like, I'm such a fan of you. And I'm like looking around like, who's she talking to? And she's like, you. And I was like, me. And then she came up to me and she was like, I don't care. I'm in my Pretty Girl era.
No
she sang my
way.
song to me. And that was iconic because she's someone I'm such a fan of. And I was like, wait, that's crazy that like she really just sang my song to me. Let me pinch myself real quick.
I saw the Serena Williams one. I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you want to talk, we were talking earlier about like, hey, there was no models for black women in pop for you.
And in tennis,
And in tennis for her.
She broke down all the barriers.
I didn't know if that was meaningful to watch her and her daughter doing that song on TikTok. For you.
It's so funny. I didn't even like fully think about it like that in that moment, but like, yes, we need more of these. And it's annoying because like in 2025, like I don't really feel like you should be breaking down those kind of barriers and doors. Like that should already been open, kicked down a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
It's a little exhausting, but it is nice when you feel like you're part of something that is moving.
Yeah, we sometimes we'll have conversations on the show about like, you know, sometimes saying, "Hey, you're the first ever" is like not that.
Every time I hear like the first Black person to win this Oscar, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, what's going on?
Says more about the Oscars than it does about the person.
That's how I feel.
When a song blows up like that, Pretty Girl Era went viral. Hotter Now went really big. When it wasn't being offered to Taylor Swift. And I'm just joking. Taylor Swift, she almost got it. And Lottery with Lotto had a big moment too. Now with social media, there's this whole other thing that artists have to participate in to make sure their art reaches people, which is TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff like that. Can you give me, as someone who's in that world, can you give me one good thing and one not so good thing that comes along with that expectation?
Well, the not so good is that you have to like always be so consistent and like you don't want to turn it on every day. Like sometimes you just want to chill and you're like, I didn't realize I became a marketing company. I'm just a girl who wants to sing and write songs and like that's it. But like you have to like be a marketing company nowadays. So that's like the not so good thing. The good thing is that when it goes, it really goes and like you get to connect with like your fans and like new supporters. People that you didn't even realize would care anything about you in a completely different country and so on and so forth. So I think like the cool thing is building that that support system.
Hey, I heard some story about like you got off the plane in Jamaica or something like that. Do you know the story I'm talking about?
Wait, why do you know all these things?
I'm like a not as talented Nardwar.
No, it was so interesting when I got off the plane in Jamaica, like I didn't think anyone would know me and like my team was like, don't be so like, you know, like maybe wear a hat or this and that, you know? But I was like, hey, I don't think anyone's going to like really know me. Like we're in Jamaica right now. Like be serious. Mm-hmm. Like they listen to jam rock and this and that. I don't know if they're going to care. Literally in the plane alone, at least five, like off the plane alone, at least 5 people that worked at the airport stopped me and said, hey, are you the girl that sings that song, Nothing But Love? And I was like, wait, what? And that was just so shocking to me that like, my ballad that is so precious to me, literally wrote that during the pandemic on Zoom. So that was so precious, like crazy to me that like they knew that song in a completely different country. Like they knew that song. Like, I don't know.
It's a beautiful.
Shout out Jamaica.
Shout out Jamaica. Let's hear another song on the record. That is Luke Calla featuring She Lele with Work from her new album, from her new EP, No Tears on This Ride. What's that song about for you?
I feel like I've put in so much work into myself. Like this did not just happen overnight, honey. And I'm just in a place right now that like whoever comes into my life next, like you better be ready to work for it. And I really hope that the people that listen to the songs, like they then feel like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I'm not letting any part-time people in my life. Like when they're in my life, they better move like it's a 9-to-5, but a 9-to-5 that they love. So I hope people are inspired.
Is it also about working on yourself?
Honestly, that one's not about working on me. Like it is literally about someone putting in work for me in many ways.
Okay. There you go. We're still on air, I think. They haven't taken us off yet. We still have funding, all is well. The reason I say this, and I mean this seriously, is I really appreciate that your songs are about self-empowerment and they're about loving yourself. And I don't want you to talk about anything you don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
But did you ever not feel that way? Like, did you have to get there? Like, did you ever not feel this sense of self?
It's hard, honestly. I feel like I've been... I honestly feel like I've been confident like my whole life. And I know that sounds like a cop-out. Or you're like, what do you mean you've been confident your whole life? I feel like because I've always been a curvy plus-size girl my entire life. Therefore, like I had to learn to be confident early in life, you know, because people would try you in school and stuff. And therefore, so I feel like I don't know. I just don't really remember a period in my life where I was like really down and out. And it was to a point like before like my music stuff actually started moving, like people were following me because they thought I was so confident. because I loved fashion and I loved clothes, and I was like showing the girls that like, I don't care what size you are, like you can still dress that body up like really nicely and this and that. So I feel like I've always exuded that, but like I don't know, maybe sometime in like middle school.
Maybe my next question is that like a lot of people's response to like people coming at you when you're in school is not to be, I need to become extra confident. It's to like be sad about that.
Yeah,
or, be
or
upset.
hide away a little bit.
Yeah, or hide away a little bit.
I was even louder.
Does that come from your folks? Like, where do you learn that?
Maybe it's like me being one of 8 kids. Like my parents went to work. So I feel like you, especially like the second last of 8 kids, like maybe I just always wanted the attention. Who knows? Because I definitely performed for my family always. So, and maybe because my like siblings, like they never treated me like badly. So like maybe I was like confident because it's like no one at home is making me feel like I shouldn't be.
That's beautiful, man. I mean, that's a testament to the family.
Testament to the family.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say after. Like that's a testament to a good way of being brought up.
Not perfect, but I don't know. Just like I didn't really have like the body issues or any of that stuff. I learned to be confident early, and I stuck with it.
God love you. I heard this quote from you. Feeling worthy is always going to be a big part of my story. And you can hear that on the album. Feeling worthy of what?
This is my second project, and I feel like my first project was literally about getting to the point where you find your worth. Like whether you're confident or not, you're still going to have like high and low days, you know? And especially in this like industry, I feel like I always have to like prove myself. Sometimes I feel like I could do 10 things back to back, you know, have 3 songs hit top 10 and this and that, and yet I'm still proving myself, and I still like I'm still running like this race. So I feel like feeling worthy, it was like feeling worthy of this industry, feeling worthy of men, or you know, whatever your dating preferences are, like just feeling worthy of like you should be in the space that you're in. That's like I think a constant thing.
What's something that a listener, someone who's listened to your music has told you about what your music has done for them that's been meaningful? Does anything come to mind?
Honestly, like the one thing I love about, I guess, the kind of music I make is I get messages every day about how like some people say it saved their lives. And it's so funny, like a song is like easy and fun as like Pretty Girl Era. To me, it's just like a good feeling. You don't realize that someone actually needed to hear that to save their life in that moment. Someone commented, oh my gosh, yes, this is recent. This is one I actually remember. Someone messaged me on TikTok and recently, and they said that like their mom had passed away, so they were like really sad and they had been crying a lot, and they heard Cry Baby, and they said that was the first time they felt happiness in like that, like since the holiday period. And I don't know, that really touched my heart because like you don't really realize like what a song is gonna do for someone.
What does that mean to you when you get messages like that?
It means the world because I am writing these songs for myself, but I want to make sure, even though I'm making pop music, I want to make sure I'm actually saying something. And I feel like there's always a little bit of vulnerability in the music. I know it's like fun and all this stuff, but I feel like there's always something a little deeper if you like really think about it. And I don't know, I feel like they're like picking up the cookies, like they're realizing what I'm really trying to say. And that makes me happy. Like my music is actually speaking to people. It's more than just a fun moment.
I think it's really great songwriting, man. Like,
thank you.
On that level, for sure. And then also just as a pop song that needs to be a pop song and works as a pop song.
Yes.
It's great stuff, man.
I am very scientific with it.
Are you really? Do you have rules?
Yeah. And it's hard because sometimes I try to break away from it.
What are your rules?
Like I will be really annoying in the session. I'll be like, hey, like, line 1 and 3, that's not the proper rhyme. And someone will be like, it's a near rhyme. I'm like, that's not good enough. It has to be like the exact rhyme. It has to be sung in a very specific way. Or this sentence has 3 syllables, but this one has 4. They both need to either have 4 or have 3.
Really?
Like those things, I think those people don't realize, like when they're listening to music, I don't think they realize why they like the song. Outside of like the lyrics, like a melody could be great, but like why is the melody catchy? It's actually because, to me, it's because certain parts are being repeated in the exact same spot. So it sticks to your brain a little more. So I'm really annoying, honestly.
Like, you know, that repetition comes
That
up.
repetition is like, it's very on purpose. And, you know, if you do it best, like it wouldn't be the same word, but sometimes it's like, it's knowing when to be simple and when not to be simple. I think like there's a lot of tricks. And I'm not perfect. And there's moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to be so anal. Is that a bad word?
You can do it. You can say whatever you want. Don't worry about
I was like, I don't want to be so anal today, you know? Like there's moments where you want to break away from it, but I do think that like there is kind of a formula that helps with 80% of a song being really good to me.
And then the other 20% is coming from here.
It's coming from the heart. It's coming from, it could be just random. Like none of us know what's going to go.
Yeah.
Literally none of us know what's going to go, but at least putting in all the like skills and like the tips, like thinking of all the tips you've gotten to write the song, I feel like those things really do help. Because if you think of all the like the great songs from like back in the day, there is a formula that is being followed.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you follow 80% of that formula and then you splash a little bit of whatever you're into, you might get yourself a big one.
You're like a mad scientist, you know.
I'm a music scientist.
You're like a scientist. You're a
I
mad
think
scientist.
I failed science, but if there was a music science, actually, no, I'd still fail that because I'm not that good at that.
Thanks for coming in, hey?
Thank you for having me.
Luke Howell was my guest. Her new EP is called New Tears on This Ride. It's out everywhere now. If you're in Toronto, she's going to be playing the Access Club on May 21st.
My first headline show.
Get out there. Go see it.